Hello. This semester, Nicole, Hayden, Morgan, Mason, and myself have gotten together each and every week to put together an international experience to Beijing, China for the students of the Walker College of Business. Throughout this presentation, our group will go over multiple aspects of the study abroad trip planning process and some of the things that we have in store for students who choose to attend. We've worked collectively on this trip all semester to hopefully provide an enlightening experience for students who are hoping to learn more about the Chinese culture and their position in the global market. We wish that this is a fulfilling trip for students and truly allows individuals to get an idea of what it is like to live in northern China. To give you a trip preview, we have created a promotional video. I hope you enjoy. I hope that this promotional video was able to give you a clear insight into what the study abroad trip has in store for you if you would like to attend this trip. If you're looking for more information, this is our infographic that we have created for the trip, and on it is included information sessions that you can attend via Zoom. That's all I have for you today.
There will be some risks and requirements that students are required to consider before they even decide to go to Beijing. Some of the risks is that there may be a travel ban in effect due to COVID-19. However, our hope is that students will be able to pass through this ban with a COVID-19 test. Another risk is simply that COVID-19 will still be in either country. And a third risk is that civil unrest may exist in either country. However, that will not be a deterring factor in this trip. Some of the requirements that we need for students to consider is that, first of all, they have to be Walker College of Business students, seeing as this is supposed to be an experience for students studying business. They're also required to take vaccines prior to traveling to China. And on top of that, they do need to take a COVID-19 test before leaving the US. They will also need a 3.0 GPA or higher required to attend the study abroad trip. So first of all, we decided to plan a kickoff meeting. And so this is the video that we did for that to summarize it.
So I'm going to talk about my group and I's project on creating a study abroad trip to Beijing and how we prepared for our initial kickoff meeting. So in order to plan the trip to Beijing, we had to determine a purpose and goals for what we had hoped students would accomplish on the trip. In this, we hoped that students would be able to experience the Chinese culture, lifestyle, and government, and see how it affects China's economy and influence its global market. So to do this, for our kickoff meeting, we utilized SMART goals, and we looked at specifics on how the project needed to be completed. If it was measurable, achievable, how the results of the trip would come out, and also the time. We also created a project plan for how we would tackle all components necessary for the trip. In this, we utilized the pruning product tree technique in order to brainstorm educational, cultural, and social activities for the students to enjoy while they are in Beijing. We also made a risk assumption and utilized the sailboat technique in order to do so.
So as you can see, the kickoff meeting was important for us to determine what we wanted students to gain from this trip. As well as that, we decided to create a WBS dictionary, and this is the video that we did for that.
Hello, this is our WBS and WBS dictionary assignment that we did earlier in the semester. So we began this shortly after making the kickoff assignment, and everybody divided up the work for what they felt comfortable doing, whether that be launch or planning, marketing, risk management, and so on and so forth. Everybody did their own dates and time frame that they felt would be necessary to have something like this in real life, as well as they included their own description for each particular event. Notice that it spans the whole trip, so I'm hoping all the math is done correctly and everybody did it correct. But each thing is set so that it's very easy to tell what we're doing and what time and in what order, which I think was helpful towards us being able to make things later as the class went on. Thank you.
So as you can see, we use the WBS dictionary as well to help us plan for this trip and determine what was going to happen on each day, as well as how much planning we needed in advance for each day.
So this is our itinerary for the trip to Beijing, China. The students would be tentatively following this plan that we've made from May 16th to May 30th. So their duration from getting to Charlotte Douglas Airport to landing back in Charlotte Douglas Airport. The first day that they're in Beijing would mainly be as a settle in, call their parents, let everybody know that they arrived safely. The second day, they'd be exploring a little bit more of town or of the city, going to Tiananmen Square, visiting the Summer Palace, having dinner in a formal setting. The third and fourth day, again, is starting at the same hotel as the first and second, with some plans of going deeper into town, visiting the Peking Duck restaurant, visiting the Forbidden City, again, business formal. The fourth day would be going to Beijing Institute of Technology for an economics workshop and having some MBA forums about COVID and economic crisis that day as well. The fifth, sixth, and seventh day, again, is more exploring of the town. Not so much educational at this point, more of just experiencing Beijing and having time to explore, going to the National Stadium where the Olympics were, the Hutong pedicab tours, visiting the Great Wall of China, just destinations that most people would like to see while they're in China. The following days would be changing hotels to the Grand Hyatt. It's just on a different side of town for students to, again, explore more. They would be visiting the Peking University to learn of investments amid the pandemic. They would have a couple workshops, whether it be Taekwondo, more MBA info sessions, lectures, classes around Peking University that we felt they would benefit from while experiencing China first, in hand. And then, so then it gets down to the end where they'd be traveling back to Charlotte on the 30th of May, and they would land in Charlotte still at the 30th of May because the time zone. But this is our tentative itinerary, and we would hope that if this is a real study abroad trip, this would all come to fruition with no issues. They have a lot of time to do what they want, as well as to learn and explore Beijing, China.
Now that we have discussed the itinerary of the trip and what we're going to be doing for the days that we will be on the trip, I'm going to discuss an important thing whenever going to a country that you've never been to, especially one that doesn't speak English as a first language, and that is learning the language. For this, we devised 15 different phrases and ways to communicate with the Chinese people. If you're lost, if you're in need, or if you just want to communicate with them. These are 5 phrases for survival, such as small talk, greetings, and dealing with problems. And this is something that we will give to the students who go on this trip beforehand so they can begin studying them and have a little bit of a basis to know how to communicate and how to get around China. These phrases are very important to know, such as good morning, hello, good evening, how's things, what are you doing? And then for small talk, we have the my name is whenever you're introducing someone, where are you from, have you eaten, how much is this, and basketball, a huge thing in China. How do you play basketball? Dealing with problems that you'll encounter, one that's very important to know is where's the bathroom? Do you speak English? I don't know how to speak Chinese. Where is looking for a place, and just help in general. For this, we used Duolingo and quite a few YouTube videos to learn how to pronounce these phrases ourselves in order to hopefully help prepare the students whenever they go on this trip. The pronunciation took us quite a while to learn and was quite difficult because of the fact that it's just a whole different language and way of speaking. We took multiple tries and hours just to make sure that we got it down. And with us having it down and be able to say these words and phrases, which even though it's not a lot, it's able to just to start a dialogue and hopefully get some help if you need some. Next, while they're on this trip, there was going to be a scavenger hunt. And we narrowed down the places that we were going to be visiting and gave some fun things to do while on the trip. And the places that we chose for the scavenger hunt will be interesting and fun, and it's beautiful. China is such a rich country of history and of culture in general, and we took our favorite places, especially from the Summer Palace and from the Great Wall of China. You can see I've included a picture from the Great Wall of China to the top right of the screen. This is a good way for the students to be able to get out and explore and have some fun with the trip. I know it's a school trip, but either way, it'll still be one that they'll remember. And being able to do a scavenger hunt like this will be able to get them out and explore and be able to just fully immerse themselves within the Chinese culture and see the history behind the amazing country it is. That leads us next to the walking tour. And in the walking tour, we're going to be taking 2 of my favorite places that we learned about, which are the Summer Palace and the Great Wall of China. These are beautiful places, and it'll be able to have the students to fully immerse themselves into the rich history of the country itself. And we chose those 2 places that you can't miss. And those are the most important places we decided on. But other than that, that will lead us next to our survey. Thank you.
The next part is our survey results. In order to figure out how much interest our study abroad trip to Beijing was getting, we made a survey that asked 5 questions regarding the trip. This is how it went. The first question was, were you interested in studying abroad in one of your upcoming semesters? Out of 10 students, 40% said yes, 50% said they would consider it, and 10% said no. The next question is, after taking part in the virtual information session, are you interested in studying abroad in Beijing? 50% of students said yes, 40% said they would consider it, and no got only 10%. The third question is, what would you be most interested in when going to Beijing? There were 3 options for this. 5 out of 10 students chose learning about the culture and history. 5 out of 10 also chose being able to explore a new place. And 6 out of 10 students chose for educational benefits. The next question was, what are you most concerned about in studying abroad in Beijing? There was also 3 options for this. Not understanding the language got a 3 out of 10 students. Financial costs got 4 out of 10. And concerns about COVID-19 got 6 out of 10 students' concerns. The 5th question is, what drew your attention to this trip? There were also 3 options for this, and the first one was word of mouth / the Zoom meeting, which got 80%. 10 videos discussing factors of the trips, which got 10%, and the promotional video, which also only got 10%. By doing the survey, it allowed for us to better market and plan for later parts of the trip planning process. Now we will move on to the trip's purpose. Arguably, there are many purposes for why someone would choose to go on this study abroad trip, but our main purpose is that this study abroad opportunity was created to further the students' knowledge of business itself and around the world. Hopefully, students will come home from Beijing with a greater understanding of Chinese economics in comparison to the USA. Not only do we hope that students come home with a greater understanding of Chinese economics, but that they will have a better overall understanding of different cultures from around the world. Most importantly, we hope that attendees of the trip come back with a happy experience of exploring the different part of the world. So this was basically how we came to the conclusion of who was interested, what students were interested, what we needed to plan for based on the study of the country that we were going to. We used stuff like the survey, and then we made an itinerary and Google Earth and all that, so we could better understand the trip before we would send students that way. And that's pretty much it for how we planned our study abroad trip to Beijing. Thanks for watching.